Now they thought he'd be their candidate at the general election, so Conservatives in Rochester and Stroud were shocked, I tell you, when Mark Reckless announced his defection to UKIP back in September. Now, Mark Reckless announcing his defection, we thought we had it there, but we didn't. It's got lost in the archives, but we'll find it. The Conservatives in Rochester and Stroud had already prepared campaign material where they had Mr. Reckless's name and image on it. They were planning to use it in next May's general election. Now, these have now had to be pulped, and the local association is trying to sue Mr. Reckless for the money that they've lost. We're joined now from Tunbridge Wells by Stuart Tranter. He's a Conservative activist in Rochester and Stroud, and I think he's angry about what's happened, but it's peanuts, isn't it? Do you really want to sue for this small amount of money?
Well, you've got to put this in the context of it being a local association. You were just having a discussion about the very weighty subject of the amount of money that will go into a national campaign. But we're talking about ordinary folk, local people here, who've done fundraising, who worked hard to get Mark Reckless into Parliament as a Conservative MP. And then he decided to spend, or agree to spend, with a councillor, Mr Chris Irvine, over £3,000, which is a lot of money to a local Conservative association, just a few days before defecting. Now, why could he not have deferred that?
Well, why did you need to print these flyers at the moment? I mean, he defected 8 months before the next general election. Why are you printing flyers 8 months before the election?
Well, I can't answer that. I actually wasn't a member.
I mean, he might look different by then.
Well, yeah.
He might change his name. Mark Not So Reckless.
Well, he might have done, and I think that's I think you should ask Mr. Reckless that.
Well, we will. We've got him coming up in a minute. It just sounds a bit like sour grapes. You can understand why you're a bit angry about it. You didn't like his defection, but to go to court over it?
Well, of course we didn't like the defection, but I think that whoever won the by-election, and he had a massively reduced majority there, but whoever won, this is a wrong thing to do. Yeah, okay. Again, you've got to put it in the context of local people that have worked hard for this money, and did he knowingly spend that money, or allow that money to be spent, knowing that a couple of days later he was going to be leaving the party? Was it just a spiteful act?
It's a fair question, Stuart Tranter, and we're going to put it to him right now. Thank you for joining us on that issue, and we can go now to Mark Reckless. He joins us from Westminster.
Good afternoon.
So, Mark Reckless, why did you allow them to print these flyers when you knew you were going to defect?
Well, I asked them to delay doing so until after the conference.
So you knew you were going to defect when they were preparing these flyers?
Well, I'm not sure if there was a particular moment in time I can even now point to as when I made a decision. I mean, some people are saying that I was approving things 2 days, but I know absolutely nothing about that. These were joint leaflets with councillors. I'm very happy for the Conservatives still to use them. To the extent councillors are doing good work with the MP, then I think that's something that should be
they can't use
promoted.
them if you're on them, can they?
But I didn't see the need to go to press with all this material so far in advance, and I once or twice gently tried to get this postponed. Unfortunately, I wasn't listened to.
Would it not have been a bit more honest to be rather more than gentle in saying, if they're coming up with some reason that at least would have postponed the printing, the spending of the money?
Well, the Conservatives would have loved me to tell them in advance what I was going to do.
I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying that.
That is what you were saying. Either you were saying I should make up something
that
just said
you should be right. You said you had said it gently. I'm saying you should have been a little less than gentle in thinking of a reason to delay it.
Well, you say thinking of a reason. I think you mean making up a reason. I don't think
Well, you made up that you weren't defecting to the Tories, so what would stop you making that up?
Andrew, I wasn't going to warn them in advance. If I'd done that,
so you made it up. You're good at making it up.
If I may, as one gentleman in Stroud said to the BBC, if I'd done that, they'd have just started these attacks on me earlier. So I have constituents, 80,000 constituents, who I answer to, and not 200 or 300 people who are members of the Conservative Party. And I have to look to the promises I made at the general election on dealing with the deficit, on cutting immigration and reforming our political system. And the Conservatives and David Cameron weren't doing that. And that's why I switched, in order to keep my word to the voters.
No, I don't want to go down there again. I just want to talk about this lawsuit. Now, you're a trained barrister, so why are you hiring lawyers to defend you?
Well, because I don't want to let this sour grapes legal action distract me from my job of representing my constituents.
How is the fundraising? I'm told that you're doing some online crowdfunding to fight the lawsuit. How much have you raised?
It's going really well. I mean, we've already had over 1,000 people who've made largely small, but some largely small donations from people across the country to this. And if we can successfully defend this sour grapes legal action, then we've said we'll spend that money on my election campaign next year. So I think it's fantastic, and I'm really grateful to everyone who's been donating this money.
Will it be resolved, do you think, before the election, or will the courts move slowly on this?
Well, we haven't even got anyone from any officer of the local Conservative Association in to defend this sour grapes legal action and to justify why they're doing it. I mean, I think we've had an election. People in Rochester and Stroud have made their decision. I understand that some people at the top of the Conservative Association are still upset, but I think taking sort of court action of this sort, I just don't think is a sensible way forward.
And how does it feel that the leader of the new party you've joined is turning out to be just as unpopular as the leader of the old party you left?
Well, I think he's a good deal more popular than the Prime Minister. And
not in the recent poll ratings. The Ipsos Mori poll has him down to the same unpopularity ratings as the Prime Minister.
Well, I think I could throw back quite a lot of polls that show Nigel being an awful lot more popular than the Prime Minister or indeed the other party leaders.
This follows the Kerry Smith saga and a number of other things. Mr Farage now has the popularity of a traditional Westminster politician.
Well, look what was thrown at us. I mean, David Cameron said he was going to throw the kitchen sink, but a huge amount of money, a huge amount of resource was put in by the Conservatives into trying to defeat me. And similarly, now there are a lot of attacks on UKIP. We're coming under a lot of scrutiny. We're threatening that cosy cartel of establishment parties. And a lot of MPs, you know, if we carry on being as successful as we are, they may lose their jobs next May. So it's no surprise that they fight back.
All right. Mark Reckless, thanks for joining us.
Very happy Christmas.
Thank you, and to you as well. This lawsuit's a waste of time from the Tories.
Completely waste of time. It does look vindictive. I think Mark Reckless said sour grapes legal action 4 times. He's right.
I mean, you can understand why the local Tory activists are unhappy, but they just have to move on, don't they?
Of course you can. They've got to focus on the next election, and this will only hurt them. I understand Mark Reckless was less than truthful to them on a number of occasions, but actually, to be fair to him, he did the honourable thing. He could have stayed the MP without fighting the by-election. He fought the by-election. He won it. I actually think and hope he'll lose next May. I think the Tories are quite
Tories
close.
think they could win Clacton, not Clacton, Rochester back, don't they?
Yeah, I think Douglas Carswell will keep
Clacton, I think.
Yeah. Mark Reckless,
they think
Mark Reckless is very defeatable, I think. But unfortunately, they're not helping themselves with this slightly petty action.
No. Well, if he loses, it will give him time. He can fight his own action, then save on the legal fees.